Hello, movie friends. Welcome back to the show. This is Anthony.
And this is James. Let's go over movie news for this past week, starting with the box office. So last week, Candyman came in at $22 million, which is great. Free Guy had $13 million. Paw Patrol, $6.7 million. And Shang-Chi opened Thursday night with an 8.8 preview, which is fantastic for a Thursday night. A $20 million plus. They're projecting like mid-20s Friday. And it's expected to hit $60 million plus for the weekend, domestically.
For Candyman, that's its second weekend of
Yeah,
release, right? So
second
that's
weekend.
really good. It's really holding staying power.
Yeah, so that's because I think it's probably the best horror movie that will come out this year, maybe besides *Malignant*, and I think, it's got a lot of appeal. And I mean, Jordan Peele produced it, so I think it has his aesthetic and his vibe, and I think people just really are excited about it and like it so much.
And that's the benefit of word of mouth. When a movie's good, people tell other people, oh, you got to see this. And so that's why the drop it's probably only like looks like a 30% drop, not even maybe 20%.
Plus, it's a recognizable film because it's a remake, basically, or a reimagining, you could say, not exactly a remake.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Shang-Chi, it's really great news for that, to have a great weekend for box office.
It looks like Disney made the right call of releasing it in theaters for 45 days first and then go to streaming after that rather than splitting it on the same day.
I think that's going to be the new game plan going forward for every big studio release instead of doing them at the same time so that we can keep movie theaters alive. Let's go.
Yeah, 60 mil is great news.
All right, let's move on to our first Dune reactions at the Venice Film Festival where it premiered. People are calling it stunning, immersive, a once-in-a-generation film. Had an 8-minute standing ovation, and all I got to say to people is, are you surprised? We've been saying this for months. For months, Denis Villeneuve does not miss. He somehow made a superior sequel to Blade Runner, you could argue, if not a similar level film. And, I mean, the cast is absurd. The story is incredible. I think that people have no idea what they're gonna see because it's gonna blow their minds so much, and the filmmaking is gonna be astounding.
Yeah, and just because Denis, even though he is one of the greatest directors working right now, Dune was his passion project, and it was his favorite book growing up, so you can only imagine how much he put into it.
Probably 5 years of work.
Yeah, so you can understand that the movie's going to be so great because of how committed he was to the project.
Yeah, so the Venice Film Festival is happening right now. It just premiered on Friday night, but there was an early screening for press only, and that's what those initial reactions were. So
We were invited.
yeah, maybe one day. But Venice Film Festival, a bunch of other great films are premiering there. We have The Power of the Dog, The Last Duel, Cyrano, which actually looks really cool. That's a Peter Dinklage film. Belfast, Spencer, Come On, Last Night in Soho. So a ton of great films are premiering there this weekend.
I can't wait to see first reactions to The Last Duel, Ridley Scott's movie.
Man, I can't wait. All these movies look so great. The Power of the Dog looks incredible.
Yeah.
And then Come On with Joaquin Phoenix. I'll watch anything that guy is in. Last Night in Soho, that's premiering there. That's Edgar Wright's new film. So there's a ton of great movies that are going to be coming up this winter and fall, or this fall and winter.
Oh, yeah, big time.
All right, let's move on to, this is just a fun tidbit about Halloween Horror Nights are back, thank goodness, at Universal Parks.
Oh, cool, yeah.
And so there's this new attraction that hadn't been around for like the last 6 years, but it's the Exorcist Maze. And so it's like a gem at the Halloween Horror Nights as it's returned to Universal Studios. And I guess guests go inside this maze, and it's a bunch of different rooms that are replicas of the set in the movie. And like in each room, there are different props and effects, and there's 40 cast members inside this maze that are there to scare you. Some of them are in like at these horror nights, they'll be like in all black like suits to so you can't see them in the shadows, but then they have props that they're holding. So it's probably super interactive and terrifying, but I would love to be a part of that.
That's crazy. I definitely want to go in there. That's amazing. So that's such an iconic movie, and that's definitely one of the biggest properties Universal has.
Yeah, and Halloween Horror Nights, if you guys have never done it, it's a ton of fun.
Yeah. And new trailers this week. So Red Notice revealed its trailer finally, and this is the movie, a Netflix film starring Ryan Reynolds, Dwayne Johnson, and Gal Gadot. And this looks like just like a fun, action-packed heist film. Seems like they have a lot of charming characters, and Dwayne Johnson plays the biggest FBI agent in history. And he employs the help of criminal Ryan Reynolds to help catch the master criminal, Gal Gadot.
Yeah, it seems like it's just a fun time.
Yeah.
It's going to be 3 huge stars, action film stars, all together in one movie. I mean, Netflix just shoveled out a bunch of cash and backed up the Brinks truck for this movie, and it should be a good time.
They got a big Brinks truck.
All right, what do we have next?
And then there was a great trailer for Michael Keaton's new film, Worth, which is a really interesting story that I didn't know about, which is it uncovers the plan to give compensation to victims of 9/11 and the committee that was involved in trying to figure out how much do we pay these people It's called Worth because they're trying to figure out what the worth of a life is. And so it's a really interesting story that I'm sure very few people even know about. I didn't know about it. And obviously it's going to be a really great drama, great cast, and I think it looks like a really intriguing film.
Yeah, and I'm sure some of it is based on Jon Stewart and his work that he did for these organizations, because he was super outspoken and basically an activist for these people, especially the first responders who responded to 9/11. And obviously they went in there just to save lives. They didn't care. They weren't thinking about their future, like what the effect would be on their bodies of breathing in all this terrible air from the debris from these exploding buildings and collapsing buildings. And a lot of these firefighters, police officers, and medics and first responders, or people who just went in there to save people, they got really long-term illness, diseases and stuff from breathing in all this terrible air. So a lot of them had cancer.
Yeah.
A lot of them passed away at very young ages, and so they have health defects because of their job, being a first responder, being a firefighter, a cop, a medic, paramedic, running into there to save lives, and then ending up, it's going to end your life later on in life. So to try to compensate somehow or to make their lives easier has been a big controversy with the government, because how can the government's like, how can we prove that it happened from 9/11,
Exactly. So that specific part, I don't think that's going to be too heavily involved in the movie, because Jon Stewart fought for years to make that happen, whereas this particular fund that this committee created happened in 13 days after 9/11.
Gotcha.
And this, I believe, mostly compensated victims of people who related to people who died in 9/11.
Gotcha.
So like,
All
say
right.
like a family who either the husband or the mother or the father died, and so they have no means of generating an income. So that committee was formed for people like that mostly. But Jon Stewart fought for a very long time to finally get funds for that, like you just talked about.
Thanks for the insight on that film.
No problem.
All right, and then we have a trailer for a new film that stars James McAvoy and Claire Foy called My Son. And this is a really interesting film specifically because McAvoy completely improvised his entire performance.
Yeah, I believe the way they set it up. And first of all, the trailer looks great. It looks like a really engrossing drama of a man who's
Engrossing. It's an engrossing drama.
Very engrossing. He's trying to find his missing son. But the director and producers, they just told him what the scene would entail and didn't tell him what the other actors were going to say in terms of the script. And so he was responding and improvising to what the other actors were saying to him in each scene. And it looks excellent. It looks like it might be his best performance. A really great film.
Because McAvoy is so talented, and obviously he does X-Men and stuff like that, so I think people forget how great of an actor he is. And even you can say the M. Night movies like Split and Glass, where he is acting incredibly well with all these different personalities and stuff, but it's also like one of those performances that it's kind of maybe because of how big the movie is, you don't really realize how good he is in it in a way, if that makes sense.
I think that everyone who saw Split saw how good he is.
True. Okay, you're probably right. I don't know what I'm saying.
I don't know what you're saying either. I posted a clip about it. It destroyed on TikTok.
It did destroy.
Everyone's like, he's amazing in that movie.
McAvoy's awesome.
Except James.
I still think he's underrated, though.
Oh, yeah. He's definitely underrated.
I think that's my main point.
Okay, there we go.
All right, let's move on.
Could have just said that.
There's a Rick and Morty live-action film coming out, and there's a promo just got released starring Christopher Lloyd. And it looks good, but I don't know if it's going to work. I don't think it will.
I love Rick and Morty, but I agree. Watching the live action, it doesn't have the same feeling about it. It seems like the show is so ridiculous, it can only work as a cartoon, I think.
It's like The Simpsons. If you tried to make a real version of The Simpsons, or like a real version of Family Guy, it just wouldn't feel the same.
So, like, Rick always burps all the time, and it's disgusting, but it's funny. But when
a cartoon character does it.
when you see the actor Christopher Lloyd burping, it's like, oh, there's a grown man burping. That's kind of gross.
Yeah. If you do that the entire movie, it's gonna get.
He does it all the time, so it would be a ton of burping. So I'm not sure if we needed a live action version of it.
All right. Anyways, let's move on.
Edgar Wright's documentary, The Sparks Brothers, which was a hit on the festival circuit, just arrived on digital and Blu-ray. So check that out if you love documentaries about film and music.
Cool. And then Nickelodeon's new Avatar: The Last Airbender movies will use CG animation, obviously.
So it will be a combination, like
live action.
Yeah, like a lot of the anime films that combine that, and I think that fans will be a lot happier than watching a live action version to see an animated version for the films.
I wonder if fans are even going to be willing to watch it because of how badly they messed up the last one.
Well, they will be loving. Well, they'll definitely watch it because it's not being made by M. Night and whoever else made that.
Anyways, The Accountant 2 is in the works with Ben Affleck and John Barenthal, and that was a cool movie. The Accountant was awesome. It starred Ben and then what's her name?
Anna Kendrick.
Anna Kendrick.
And Barenthal's in it too.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good movie. I think it didn't. I don't think it did really well at the box office.
It did okay.
And critically, I think it was decent. But I thought I had a good time watching that movie. And Ben Affleck is like basically an assassin. Let's sign me up.
Yeah, it was a super cool movie. I just think it was a little long. And if they trimmed it up, it would have been a lot better. But I would love to see another take on it. And Insecure released a new trailer for Issa Rae's new film, new series on HBO, which has been a hit. And I think this is going to be the final season. So if you're fans of that show, check out the trailer.
Steven Soderbergh is debuting a secret film at the Toronto Independent Film Festival. So that's 2 Steven Soderbergh movies that we're getting in 1 year. Mm-hmm. He probably did them both on an iPhone
in a week.
Yeah. So we love his movies, so we'll check it out for sure. Whatever it is.
He shot his last movie with Meryl Streep in like 2 weeks on a boat on a cruise ship.
Hey, he's got a vision.
And Yorgos Lanthimos has a new movie in pre-production, so we are big fans of his and are very excited to check it out. It's going to star Emma Stone as a character named Bella Baxter, who is a young woman brought back to life with the brain of an infant, set in the Victorian era. So this sounds really cool, right up his alley of that weird dark humor.
Yeah, and then we have Willem Dafoe and Mark Ruffalo also in it too. And I love
and Rami Youssef, who was from Yesterday.
And I love that movie's so good. Yesterday, I love that movie. Mark Ruffalo, I love that he's doing this kind of project because Yorgos films are out there, you know. And I feel like
I bet he plays the Doctor.
We talk a lot about how Marvel superhero actors, they have a lot of trouble, I feel like, breaking into other films that are commercially successful or artistically successful. And I think not that it's impossible. Like, I mean, Renner and Wind River is a great film, but to see Ruffalo do a movie like this, I'm really excited to see him do that and just get out of the world of superheroes, go back to doing these weird, cool movies.
Mm-hmm. Although he is doing the She-Hulk TV series too.
Hey, he's got to get paid, you know. You know how much insurance on a Ferrari costs?
I doubt he has a Ferrari.
Just kidding. I'm kidding.
Mark Ruffalo has a Ferrari.
That's definitely Tony Stark, a.k.a. Robert Downey Jr. for sure.
For all you fanatics of the show, I know there are a few of you. Season 3 trailer just got its release date, plot, and cast. And so for all of you who are obsessed with that show, check out the info for it.
The show You?
You.
I thought you said all you fanatics. It sounded like a sentence like that was the subject and not the noun. So the You TV show season 3.
That's what I said.
Yeah, but
all the fanatics of the show.
When I heard it, it sounded like
I said for all you fanatics of the show You.
When I heard it, it sounded differently. I don't know why. It's probably because it's the morning.
You don't even understand me.
We're going on season 31 of that. Let's see. Sterling Harjo and Taika Waititi's Reservation Dogs has been renewed for a second season on FX, which I'm not surprised at all. I haven't seen the whole thing. I've watched a couple episodes. It's really cool. Taika is one of the hottest filmmakers and
hot right now.
Creators right now. He's like Han Solo, so hot right now. Anything that guy touches is great. So of course it's going to do well.
A new French Dispatch clip was released and a new poster as well. To show that there is quite a bit of animation in Wes Anderson's new film, although I'm not going to watch the clip because I don't want to walk into the movie knowing anything about it.
Of all directors to go in blind to movies, I think Wes Anderson's is one of the most important to try to not expose yourself to too much going in because all other, like Nolan, I'll watch trailers and everything. I watched the first trailer for this, but Wes Anderson creates just engrossing worlds that you won't see with any other filmmaker, that it's just best to not know anything about it, go in blind as you can and just enjoy it.
Exactly.
Let's go. Our boy Roland Emmerich is back to making disaster films, of course.
He loves disasters.
That's his thing. So he has a new movie coming out called Moonfall, and the trailer of this movie is pretty wild. So it stars Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson, Michael Pena, Charlie Plummer, Kelly Yu, awesome cast. Donald Sutherland's in there too. And so the moon is falling to Earth and like causing destruction on Earth. Like the tides are obviously rising.
Gravity's changing.
It looks like Interstellar with the waves, of course. So the moon's falling to Earth, but then also there's an alien in the moon that's going to destroy the humans too.
So wait, is the alien driving the moon?
I think that the alien is causing the moon to go to the moon.
It has
Earth.
to because it's an impossible thing to happen.
This like giant alien arm just comes out of the moon's surface and starts attacking
like
people.
A giant alien?
Like not like a.
Well, what if the moon is an alien?
That's what I mean. So either the moon's an alien or the moon's like hiding an alien, or the alien was hiding inside the moon, waiting for the right time to attack.
I gotta see this trailer. I didn't watch it.
I don't know
yet.
how this guy gets budgets. His movies make money.
I don't know. Is it a giant alien? I don't understand.
It's
Is it just
some sort of
sleeping?
alien organism. It's not like a hand and an arm. It's like this.
So the moon was never the moon. It was always just like a sleeping prehistoric alien.
Probably something like that.
Sounds really cool.
So basically, the Earth's gonna end because how can you have the moon come that close and still survive?
I don't know. It doesn't.
It would cause mass extinction.
Physicists, physicists' heads are exploding.
Even
right
if
now.
the moon bounced into the Earth, like there's no way anyone would survive after that.
Oh yeah, that would be cataclysmic.
It bounced the Earth into a different rotation around the sun. We'd probably be further away or close to the sun.
The temperature would change.
We'd either be pushed
immediately.
closer to the sun and burn alive, or we'd be pushed further away from the sun and freeze to death.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be wild. Let's go.
They're gonna blow it up.
Hey, Roland Emmerich's got a Roland Emmerich. That's what he does.
Guillermo Del Toro has a new Netflix horror anthology series that's going to be premiering in a few months, and it's they don't have a title for it, but it's going to be 10 episodes, and they're all going to be made by different directors that he hand selected for each story. So I'm super excited for that.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
It'll be like his own Twilight show, but with just horror. That's really fun. That's like what those miniseries hosted by directors and filmmakers. That's what it used to be like back in the day. That's pretty cool. And then final trailer that we'll talk about is The Wheel of Time, and this is going to be an Amazon epic fantasy adaptation.
It's a beloved book that was written, I believe, 60 years ago. I've never heard of it, but the trailer looks pretty cool. Very big filmmaking and epic in scale and scope, so we'll definitely check it out.
All right, that wraps up movie news number 14. Hopefully, y'all have a great weekend. We
got some good episodes coming out this week.
This week
it's going to be epic.
I'm going to tell you, you're going to want to check out tomorrow's episode.
Yeah.
If you're a patron, you know what it is. If you were in our live video the other night, you know what it is. But you're going to be pleasantly surprised and happy because it's something that has been heavily requested that we've been saving. We've been saving that bacon in the back of the fridge in case the lights went out for a week and, we needed something delicious to eat. So it's going to be epic.
Take care, y'all.
Bye. Thanks so much for tuning in to Raiders of the Lost podcast. Be sure to subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button, leave a comment. Find us on all audio streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find us. Find us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Raiders of the Lost podcast. Be sure to check out one of these other videos right here for more content on our favorite films and breaking down all kinds of movie content. Thanks so much.